Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the MK Productions podcast. I'm your host, Mac, joined here as usual by my co-host, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo. How you doing today, Kristen?
I'm doing excellent. I'm glad we recovered after our live stream I thought we killed it, the
It was
first
a fun
time.
live stream.
Yes, and I enjoyed it. And how's life going with you?
It's
I must
going
say.
good, just same old shit, different day. So, it's kind of just, it is what it is. How about you?
I'm doing well. I just got back, literally, and just walked in the door and sat my butt down to record. And I just got back from the Montclair Film Festival. It was a lovely, lovely week and seeing a lot of films. I just finished watching Night Bitch, which is set to come out in December.
How was
And
that? I've heard interesting things about it.
as someone who read the book
Hmm.
and then seeing the screen adaptation, here's some words people are not going to like hearing. I preferred the film over the book.
That's heresy.
Yeah. All
You
right.
just
I'm
pissed
ready
off,
for
you
all.
just pissed off our majority of our audience.
I preferred the film and I liked what it said about its themes. I mean, maybe it's a potentially a film that we could have to talk about for the podcast, but because I don't want to reveal anything too much, but I enjoyed that. I saw this film called Grazer, which was really good. I did see Small Things Like These, which stars Cillian Murphy, recent Academy Award winner Cillian Murphy. I saw Conclave, which I just put out my review for. I saw Anora, which is probably like in my top 5 films of the year. It's a must watch for any cinephile or Sean Baker fans. So more to come for that. I got some good coverage from the festival. Shout out to Film Fest Report, who is always amazing to me and letting me explore the Montclair Film Festival. This was a dream of mine, so I'm happy to report back on a lot of good films. But Mac, you saw Venom and you brought home a new friend, I
Yeah,
must
so
say.
this is an audio recording, but I do have the Venom popcorn box. I have all 19 inches of Venom. $25 well spent. That was definitely, I'd say. And then I bought the
That was
permanent
25 bucks. That's not bad.
I mean, compared to some of the other popcorn boxes, like they just announced with the Gladiator box is going to be that big Coliseum. So I'm really scared to see on what that's gonna cost. It's probably gonna be like $30. But not only did I
And
see
it's
Venom,
interactive too, from what I
actually,
see.
which one, the Gladiator or Venom?
The Gladiator one.
Maybe because there are little tiny gladiators fighting.
Yeah, I think you have to like point down at it with like a camera or something like that. Like there's like a QR code and it shows them battling in the popcorn bucket. I think that's how it works. Somebody clarify us in the comments, but I think that's how it looks from
And
the little
besides
AMC one.
And besides Venom, I had just watched Smile 2 last night, and oh boy, that movie is makes you question what people were thinking that the first one was good. That I'm not kidding, because I kind of knew what was gonna happen at the end, and I pretty much said I wrote the movie.
Oh man, I'm supposed to be seeing that
And
because my husband and I watched the first one and I thought it was good.
it's
I didn't
dumb.
love
I
it.
don't like it.
I do think it's dumb in some parts, but I do like Kyle Gallner a lot. I think he's a really great horror movie actor. So
Well, Naomi Scott did a good job in the sequel, but it just didn't feel like a Smile movie. It felt like a movie about a singer having a crash out and kind of exploring everything. It kind of did what The Idol was trying to do, but better. But then they're like, "Oh shit, this is a horror movie, so we gotta add elements of Smile."
yeah, I'm interested to see it. I'm supposed to see that. I think I'm going to see that over Venom. I'm sorry.
I
But
mean,
I
I'd
do
rather
want to
watch Venom
see
again than Smile too. That's Jesus
I
Christ.
do want to see how Venom ends though, because I'm very interested in out of everything in that film, the symbiote horse.
You're gonna be. It was interesting. It was truly something. It was truly part of the Venom verse. But on today's episode, we're gonna be going over some film topics, and then since it's a special spooky Halloween episode, we're gonna be reviewing the new Max original film Salem's Lot, which is based on the Stephen King book of the same name. And we're gonna be giving a little sneak peek of what we're gonna have coming up into the holiday season because they're gonna be steamrolling right through Thanksgiving and going straight to Christmas. So this is gonna be an interesting episode. But Kristen, are you ready for the news?
let's talk. Oh, excuse me.
The
Let's
cock,
talk.
yes. The cock, yes. Let's talk
I
some
can't
news.
talk. Let's talk
Let's.
some spooky news.
Ooh.
This is CNN, a network of Turner Broadcasting System.
All right, so the news to start off this episode. I'll go first. Kristen, are you a fan of the Looney Tunes?
I don't know how to answer that question. Yes and no.
How dare you?
I just never was really into it as a kid. I never really got into it. I did like Bugs Bunny, but like I watched everything else but the Looney Tunes. I did like Twinkie Bird.
Tweety Bird?
Tweety Bird. Did I say Twinkie Bird?
Yes, you did.
Whoop. Yeah, Tweety
So
Bird.
So after, well, I grew up with Looney Tunes, and I do have a soft spot for it. I am also a fan of Tweety Bird and Taz and Sylvester and everyone. But if you think about it, the last Looney Tunes movie project we had in theaters was 2021 Space Jam, and that was a disaster. And then next we're gonna have the Acme, Coyote versus Acme, kind of hybrid animated film with John Cena and Will Forte,
Which
and
I
that
was
got
actually very interested in.
yeah, apparently from the people who saw it, it looked good, it felt good, and it was gonna be the same style of Space Jam and Looney Tunes back in action with the animated characters. And a Looney Tunes court case would be pretty funny. So, but it got canceled due to budget cuts. But apparently there is another super secret Looney Tunes project teased 1 year after Coyote versus Acme's controversial cancellation. This is also the first Looney Tunes movie to come out like next year. It's coming out February 2025. It's called The Day the Earth Blew Up, which is going to be out in February. It's going to be the
Oh.
first theatrically released film starring the Looney Tunes since New Legacy. So, Kristen, are you excited to see what they have in store for Looney Tunes, or is this something you'll pass on?
I don't know. Give me more about the story first. Do you know have anything in details about the
This
story?
is a super secret movie. We don't know what it is. All we have is that.
Oh,
So we
okay.
don't know what's going on. All we know is that the next Looney Tunes movie coming out in theaters is The Day the Earth Blew Up. This one has been in production for a while, where this is gonna just be like an alien invasion with like Porky Pig, Daffy Duck trying to save the world.
Okay.
So, but I am sad that Coyote versus Acme movie got shelved because the movie's finished from all reports. It's just the fact of like Warner Brothers came in and they said, yeah, we're doing budget cuts, so that got canceled. Batgirl got canceled. Like, do you think there's a timeline where we may get to see movies like Batgirl and like Acme Coyote versus Acme like released on it some way, shape, or form, even though they're kind of written off as taxes? Is kind of unlikely.
Yeah, I was hoping Warner Brothers would have just released it on Max,
They
and
should
at
have.
least there would have been an audience. I definitely think for both of them, especially for Batgirl, because of, the Joker and, Penguin out, there's some audience for Batgirl, and it's a shame they decided not to release it. I think, you know, deep down they should have done it, even
Mhm.
if they like, there's some like, suspicion. It's been talked about, they did it for tax write-offs, but it's a shame that, they did that, but I really thought they would have done it, but I do want to watch that uh Acme uh
Coyote versus
film.
Acme.
Yes, thank you. With Will Forte and John Cena, because I love Will Forte. I think he's a great comedic talent, and just seeing him be placed in a Looney Tunes film felt
It
very fitting when
works.
I heard,
Yeah.
yeah, when I heard about the casting, because I used to watch him all the time on Saturday Night Live. I thought he was one of the best talents on that time frame of SNL, because he was also with like Bill Hader and like Andy Samberg. Like he was with those group of like guys that I grew up watching. And
Mhm.
I always thought, Will Forte is so, so talented, and he's going to be doing all these movies. And when I finally heard he was casted in this, I thought, what a smart idea. So not to see that final product come out, it really sucks. So, and I was interested also because of John Cena. It felt very kid friendly. Like, he's obviously not in Space Jam. I think he would have been fitting for Space Jam, but to see him placed in that was really a creative, casting decision. So,
We'll
what about
see.
you?
I don't know. We'll see. I think with tax write-offs, it's kind of hard to get movies there because it's literally like if you're taxed off, you can't release it, so it's over. Maybe if a studio is like, hey, we'll buy it off of you. Maybe they'll put it on somewhere, but probably in a few years they'll probably put it on Max.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk some Jordan Peele because I want to talk some spooky news in honor of Halloween because Jordan Peele has become this great horror director. We talked about Nope in the past on this show. So Jordan Peele won't give away anything about his next horror movie. I'm going to keep everybody in painful suspense. This
Good.
article is coming from Deadline, and I love the way they start this out. Nope, you're not getting any details about Jordan Peele's next horror movie. The Oscar-winning writer is keeping mum about his forthcoming fourth feature due out in 2026. Jimmy Fallon might have to get any semblance of information about the genre. Your next movie is listed as one of the most anticipated horror movies of 2026. No one knows what the premise is, no one knows who is the cast, and no one even knows if it's been already shot. Fallon said, attempting to tee up an answer from Peele during a recent appearance on The Tonight Show. The question prompted a deep belly laugh out of the Get Out Helmer, who said, yes, let the mystery swirl. You're not getting anything out of me tonight, Jimmy. So,
Good. So he doesn't have to reveal anything because I like the
no,
surprise.
no, but I have to ask you, what kind of horror film Jordan Peele has up his sleeves? Because we got aliens already, we got some crazy people in Get Out, and then we had this interesting, like, what do you consider the people in Us? Like, I don't know, like
Doppelgangers.
doppelgangers, like
They're
weird
literally
doppelgangers.
clone doppelgangers from the
Yeah,
government.
clones,
Yeah,
like
he said it in the
clones.
movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot like how it was because I'm not a fan of Us. I do think Nope and Get Out are the better films. Like Us was just okay,
I
but
liked Us because Us was more of a horror movie than Get Out. Get Out's a thriller movie, while Us is straight up like psychological kind of horror.
hmm yeah. But what would you like to see Jordan Peele tackle?
See, that's a hard question to ask because you really don't know you're gonna get because I mean, look at his three films. We got one about meeting parents that turns into a psychological hellscape, a second one about doppelgangers, which I guess that the the thing with Nope and and Us, what makes it like I like them but not as effective is that with Get Out, we saw that trailer, we really didn't know what was going on until you watched it, which I like that a lot. But then with Us and Nope, once you watch the trailers, you kind of see where it was going. Well, I guess Nope didn't because the reveal of the alien was pretty cool that it wasn't who we thought it was going to be. But I mean, I don't know what you can do with this. I guess it's just going to be more of just sees like when that first trailer comes out, we'll see what it does. And because I really don't, I can't have a guess of like what he's gonna do for the next movie.
Mm. I We're getting the Wolfman next year. I thought it would have been interesting to see him tackle
Nah, I don't
one
think.
of wait. I think it would be great to see him tackle a old school universal horror film, like the one of the monster ones. I mean, he did
See,
produce Candyman, but that's not
well,
like one of the original
I
ones, but
think
it was a reboot for the 90s, But
I think he's more of like I would thought that too because I thought, oh, maybe he can do like what movie did I think? Oh, maybe he could do like a mummy movie or something like that. But I think he wants to do original stuff. Like I feel like if he wanted to do
mhm,
something like that, like he would have done the Candyman movie. Like he would have done that his own. It would have been cool actually to have his take on that because that movie would have been better. But you know, it is what it is. But I feel like he wants to just do original ideas or taking inspiration from
mhm,
it. So like maybe we'll see. I think it would have been cool if he did like the Invisible Man or something like that. But Wolfman would have been cool. Or like
mhm,
Nosferatu or Dracula. Actually, him and Dracula would be good. But I don't know. We'll just gonna have to see because I don't. You really can't guess what he's gonna do next.
mhm. All right, what's your next piece of news?
All right, so I'm gonna stick with the animation. Did you grow up watching Flintstones?
Not really. I just knew of the characters and I did like the little babies that were in, you know, um, whatchamacallit from the Flintstones, but I did watch the live action movies.
Yes, with John Goodman and Rosie O'Donnell, the good old
Yes.
days. But we are getting a new Flintstones movie. It's called Meet the Flintstones, and they announced this project a year ago, and everyone was wondering what the hell is going on. It's going to be an animated film, and it's just going to be bridging the gap between the old generation and the new generation for Flintstones fans.
Oh, interesting.
And at Lightbox Expo, which is kind of a animated convention, they showed footage of Barney and Fred racing their cars with their riders' feet. And from all accounts, it looks like it's pretty good. We still don't have a release date for it, but it's going to be a while because we've not gotten anything from the Flintstones, to be honest. Because if I remember correctly, Seth MacFarlane was planning on making his version of Flintstones like a um his version of Flintstones like a reboot in his style. And I'm like, oh God, because he's a big fan of the Flintstones.
Hmm.
So I'm kind of curious to see what a new generation would react to Flintstones, because the Flintstones is a classic. Like that's like one of the first Hanna-Barbera cartoons to like take off. And
Hmm.
it's like the style of being like a sitcom kind of helped a lot of live action stuff too and animated projects from there on.
Yeah.
But
Um,
I'm excited for it. I'm curious to see with it.
I'll watch it. Honestly, I would actually watch the Flintstones first before Looney Tunes, honestly. Going back to that. I just have a soft spot for that family. Even though I didn't really watch it, I just liked the live action ones. I don't just my parents never really pushed the Flintstones on me like when I was growing up. They pushed more of like the Mickey Mouse and a lot of the Disney stuff, Disney princesses, like and all that stuff.
That
And
says a lot of things now.
I'm sorry.
That says a lot of things with your Disney stuff. That's how everyone got raised up too.
Yeah, I mean that, and then Blue's Clues and like
I did not mean for that to come off as insulting.
no, 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 no,
I was
no,
like,
it's
oh
not
shit.
insulting. I
I
didn't
was like,
see it
no.
as insulting.
I was like, no, because I'm like, damn. I'm like, I grew up with Looney Tunes, Flintstones. I'm like, I was a Disney kid, but I
Like,
wasn't.
here's
I
the
would.
thing, cartoon-wise, I did watch Powerpuff Girls. Like, that was my
Okay, I'll give you that.
jam.
So
That was
okay,
my jam.
so I got a question for you. Since we're gonna, I want to keep it on animation. Did you watch the 2002 Powerpuff Girls movie in theaters?
Oh yeah.
Did
Oh
you?
yeah.
Were you? Do you think that's a great movie?
Ooh, that's a good question because I haven't seen that in
Because
absolutely years.
this is what I remember. It was a really good movie. It's just it was marketed horribly, and
Yeah.
it was released on a bad weekend, like 4th of July weekend. And to this date, I think, oh no, actually, up until when the Teen Titans Go movie came out, it was the last Cartoon Network movie to be released in theaters.
Hmm.
And Teen Titans Go made a bunch of money, and I think that movie didn't do well in theaters because they were gonna do like the Johnny Bravo movie, the Samurai Jack movie, and a lot of the
Yeah.
Cartoon Network movies got moved there. I want to see more Cartoon Network movies. I really wish we got the Johnny Bravo movie because I
I
remember
remember Johnny Bravo. I used
they
to
were
watch that too.
they were supposed to make like a live action adaptation with The Rock, like that was rumored for years, and then they talked
Hmm.
about they want to do the Samurai Jack, but I like the Powerpuff Girls movie. It was a dark version of the origin story, and I
Yeah, I
loved it.
remember seeing that in theaters, honestly, as I sit there and think about it, because like it's so funny you mentioned that because I haven't thought of that movie in years. So I feel very nostalgic about it right now.
Movie is 22 years old.
Dang. Okay. Moving on to my final piece of news. Because I saw Terrifier opening weekend.
Nice.
Um,
Did you
really enjoyed
vomit?
it. No, but I was freaking out a lot. There was one guy like, okay, so my husband and I sat in theater. It was me, then my husband Dylan. Hi Dylan, I love you. He's probably gonna be listening to this episode. Um, then we had a space, and then we had somebody else next to us, and he was like, wearing his Halloween like horror movie merch,
Mhm.
you know, you know, and we're just sitting there. I never reacted to a horror movie so intensely in theaters where I was like covering my mouth and I was like ready to jump out of my seat and like be like, oh my God, like what? Like there was stuff like, because I watch, me, I love horror and I'll watch
Mhm.
almost an insane amount of horror. But the things that they pulled off in this film, I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, what? Like I was like,
I would have paid good
Hallelujah.
money to see the reactions to it.
Oh, the guy next to me, he was like, he's like, I was enjoying the film and your reactions. I was like, well, at least I put on a show. I was just reacting
So,
normally.
so I feel like the last time we connected, when we were talking about when we did our live stream for Joker 2, you said that you and Dylan had watched the previous two films. So you kind of
Mhm.
knew what it was about going into the third film. And this is after I told you when in the UK they aired it, they said 11 people walked out and one person confirmed they vomited.
I didn't have like vom. Well, yeah, I did say like because of the the rat scene in the film. Like I avoided so many spoilers as I like do. And then I saw the rat scene because I don't like rats or bugs or snakes. Like those are the things that things I have like a thing of like this fear of like them crawling on me. Like I don't like that's would be like my worst fear.
Hmm.
Like the stuff you would see on X Factor, kind of like in being like buried, not X Factor, Fear Factor, excuse
Fear
me.
facting.
Uh, like them like laying on you, like I couldn't. So like seeing that's the rat scene play out, like
Yeah.
I was losing my marbles. Like I was like, oh, and I was going like I was like gagging in my seat, not like on the nerve to throw up. Like I just felt like, you know, my nerves being like, oh my God, like, that kind of thing. I'm shocked you didn't see Terrifier 3
Which,
yet.
well, when I have me and my girlfriend were like either Smile 2 or Terrifier 3. And I said, damn, I want to see Terrifier 3, but I want to save that for like maybe my birthday. So I said, let's go see Smile
Mhm.
2. And I'm watching Smile 2. I turned to my girlfriend. I said, I really wish we saw fucking Terrifier 3. I'm regretting it right now. Like, this is some bullshit.
You have to hold up for a second and pause for mental. You got a girlfriend now,
Yes.
Mac?
Yes, I do.
Mac, I
So
need
we
dates.
well, it is what it is, but but yeah,
I'm
we
your.
saw.
I feel I'm like your older sister. I feel like I need to know this. I need to know what's going on. I'm rooting for you, man.
Yeah, no, it's going strong. We're going good, and yeah, we saw Smile too, and she wanted to see Terrifier because her words, she said she wanted to see people get cut up. So I was like, okay, cool. So it's like Smile, and I really had to thought about it. I was like, damn, Smile 2 or Terrifier, and I go, let's see Smile 2, like a dumbass I was. This is like the all over again. My mom's like, you want to see American Ultra or Fan Four Stick? And I said Fan Four Stick. Probably should have. Well, both those choices kind of sucked anyway. So I would have saw American Ultra more though. But
I don't
yeah.
remember watching American Ultra on streaming. But anyways, let's get to the news of Terrifier 3. Okay, because excuse me, I want to talk about this. Terrifier 3 Breakout, Laura Lavera is set to star opposite Digimon Hensu and the monster from the Saw duo.
I
I'm
saw that.
excited.
I saw that.
I'm excited about this. Terrifier Breakout star Laura Rivera has landed a co-starring role opposite two-time Oscar nominee Did you Digimon Hensu? I think I'm saying that's right. His name right?
I'm going to say so because I cannot pronounce his name as well. My mom gets on me every time because she loves that man.
He's talented. In the
He
horror
is.
thriller The Monster, which is set to be directed by the Saw franchise's director, Darren Lynn Bousman, who we actually talked about previous work. We talked about Spiral. Uh, This is coming from Deadline, again, my favorite source. We revealed that the project last week can now confirm that the rising screen queen, Lavera, is aboard to star in the film from the screenplay by Jonathan Bernstein and James Greer, Steven Soderbergh's from Unsane, which is also a great movie. If you haven't seen Unsane, go watch it. The pick was developed and is being produced by Lee Nelson and David Tish of Envision Media Arts, who worked on The Ice Road alongside Shaw's producing partner, Mark Berg. So, The Monster follows two millennials who make quick money by leasing an incredible New York City apartments that they don't own to people who they don't know they are being scammed. The con workers, brilliantly, the con works, I can't say it, brilliantly
Yeah, all that.
until they run into apartment owner with a dark secret who flips the games on them. So I'm gonna watch this because I'm intrigued by the premise. I do like what Darren has worked on in the Saw franchise films because I did like Spiral. I'm gonna keep saying that. I really liked Spiral, and I know there's an audience like you, Mac, who is not a fan of it, but
It was
I
fucking dumb.
I really liked it. I really liked it. So but anyways, are you going to be watching this film? And do you want to talk about the film? And what do you think of Laura Lavera?
I don't know who that is. I didn't see Terrifier 3, so I don't have a gauge
No,
on it.
she is in also the sequel to Terrifier.
good for her, I guess. I mean, if I catch it, I'll watch it.
Because I will tell you, in Terrifier, she is Sienna.
Oh, her. Well, good for her. I won't go to the theaters to see this probably, but I don't know, maybe.
Not your vibe to see in theaters?
I mean, I don't know. It depends if this is getting is this getting a theatrical? Is this
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
oh, then I don't know. Maybe I'll see it.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to see it. I like what she has done in the franchise. I think she's going to become a new screen queen, and I am like what she does. She's a young, great actress, and she knows how to bring a lot of uh, emotions, a lot of great horror emotions to a film. So I'm excited. But that's all I have to say.
Yeah, all right. So if you have any news for us, make sure you link them down in the comments below or send it to our Instagram or email. And let's get into the spooky movie we're getting into, and that's the new Salem's Lot.
It's not safe! Another sleepless night. Is it some more?
All right, so for the spooky edition of the MK Productions podcast, why not review the newest adaptation of Stephen King's many, many, many books in his library, and that is Salem's Lot, which is based on the 1975 novel of the same name. It stars Lewis Pullman, Mackenzie Leigh, Alfred Woodard, John Benjamin Hickey, Bill Camp, Jordan Preston, Carter, Nicholas Corvetti, Spencer Treat Clark, William Sadler, and Pilo Asbake. I probably pronounced that wrong.
Yeah,
It is
that's about the closest you can get to saying his last name.
okay. It is the first feature film adaptation of this book, so this is breaking new ground because there was already a mini series in 1979 and 2004, and the plot centers on a writer who returns to his hometown, Jerusalem's Lot, in search of inspiration, only to discover the presence of a vampire. So this came out exclusively on HBO Max. Max, I don't know what we call it now. Do you call it Max or HBO Max? Or you just kind
I
of
still call it HBO Max.
okay, yeah. So it was released on HBO Max on September 25th. No, it was released on October 3rd. I'm sorry. And yeah, it's it's a Stephen King adaptation, and it is kind of okay in my opinion. This was a very mediocre film, and I'm starting to see that for a lot of his adaptations of his books. To be honest with you,
I think recently, I think the last one I think I kind of really enjoyed was Doctor Sleep. So,
and that was a misunderstood classic.
yeah. But I want to point something out. Salem's Lot was originally set to be released in theaters back in 2022.
Oh my god, they probably saw what
This is
happened with
coming
Doctor
from
Sleep. Yeah.
Wikipedia, the post Labor Day weekend that had been successful for the studio's past horror releases, but was delayed to April 21st, 2023, due to the COVID related delays in the post production realm before losing its release date to the Evil Dead Rise.
Damn, he got beat up by Evil Dead. Well, Evil Dead Rise is a good movie, but like that's funny.
Going on to this, there was growing concern that the project would be scrapped, like what we talked about with the Coyote versus Alchemy. Acme. I was going to say Alchemy. Oh my god.
Acme, the same Full Metal
Acme.
Alchemist.
I know. Or Batgirl, which were canceled back in 2022. With all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then the Scooby-Doo Holiday Hunt thing. But this kind of brings up. This is one of the ones that they saved.
Why?
I feel like,
They're like, we're really cooking with this shit.
Yeah, but I probably would have enjoyed the Coyote versus Acme more or the Batgirl. Like, I was curious because of Salem's Lot, because not the fact that this was a Stephen King, new film, but the fact that star of the film, Lewis Pullman, was coming back to horror after the disastrous Strangers, the Strangers movie that we talked about on the podcast in the past. So I was like, I need to watch. I need to see if this man redeems. I like Lewis Pullman. I want him to succeed. I need to see him come back from this. So
listen, he did Strangers Prey at Night, said, fuck this. I'm doing Bad Times at the Yellow Royale on Top Gun Maverick. He's like, okay, I've redeemed myself. And he's going right back.
He did redeem himself.
Well, I'll give him
the
credit.
Starling Girl. Go watch him in that.
I'll give him credit. This is much better than Strangers Prey at Night. Not in the
Oh,
comedies department.
definitely.
Not in the comedies department because that movie is funny as fuck. But this movie was all right.
N- This is like, I'm gonna put it out there. This is the same grade I'm giving like Joker 2 because
Oh, come on.
maybe lower.
No, no, no. At
Because
least this one tried, at least.
this one tried. Yeah, I will say that. But I could not believe the stakes for this film, which were pretty mediocre for me.
Mhm.
And nothing felt exciting or worthy of noting that kept me on the edge of my seat. Like there was times when I put this on, because I'm, staying with my family for a couple days
Yeah.
because of the Montclair Film Festival. I put it on, and there was times my dad would walk into the kitchen because I was like sitting where the TV is, where the kitchen is, and he would look up and he would just start laughing at the ridiculous stuff that this movie was doing. Like there is some pretty ridiculous stuff that happens in it, and just the way the kills are. Like I was like, for my dad to be laughing at this, and he goes like, "How can you watch this?" I'm like, "I love horror," and then he was like, "All right," he doesn't get it like the horror like in me, but uh, what did you think for your first time watching
Movie
this?
was boring. Like
It really was.
this has been the problem with a lot of the Stephen King adaptations lately, and you can correct me on this, but
Yeah.
ever since It Chapter 2, it's just kind of been this either okay or bad because we had Chapter 2, which was disappointing sequel. Dark Tower was terrible, or
Well,
Dark
that was
Tower was boring.
released, that was in like 2016,
No, that was 2017, 2018.
2017.
Then we had Firestarter, which was ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Pet Cemetery was disappointing. Then I think they did a Pet Cemetery 2.
Yeah, they did like a spin-off film with Dermot Mulroney.
Yeah. It was just weird. And then like I get Gerald's Game was good. I like Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
Then Doctor Sleep, but that's more of like Mike Flanagan being a great horror director.
Yeah,
But like
definitely.
if it's not I think if it's not Mike Flanagan, then this movie's not going to be good
We
because
will have hope in the future with The Running Man, because so we got Edgar Wright here and Glenn Powell, with all
yeah,
that
but I'm talking like
happening.
pure horror film like Stephen King. These last few films haven't been it, and it's mostly like either just the quality is not good or the bad. This is just boring. Like nothing really happens. Like it's more like especially like this is the biggest problem I have with it is that this is the first ever film adaptation we've had of this story, and it's a pretty
Hmm.
interesting story. I think the
Hmm.
1979 film, the 1979 miniseries, is one of the most iconic things in like horror history, especially
Hmm.
with the vampire in the original one.
I will say they do a really pretty good job, at least, of developing. Uh, what is it? How do you say the name? The the vampire in it,
Kurt
Striker,
Barlow,
or what is it? The Straker, or is that the vampire's
Straker,
name?
Straker, yeah,
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying. They did a good job putting that vampire together because it does look scary enough looking, but everything else that surrounds it, like his body, person who helps him.
yeah.
I will give him that, like the performance of that actor. He does a really good job with that. But I guess the surrounding elements to it, it doesn't build up in the ways that it wants to be interesting because it's all very flat to me when I'm looking at it. Like nothing is substance worthy, to at least even be slightly invested.
I agree.
So, like, I never read the book. So, and did you say you watched the 1979 version or
Yes,
or did you watch both? Because there's
I
one
watched
that's
the 79 one
1979 and
because that's
2004.
the 71 one is really good because it's like with the it's kind of I compare it to the It miniseries of the 90s because it is feel like a big long movie
Mm-hmm.
instead of like it's
Um,
just broken up into miniseries. Also, give a shout out to Mackenzie Leahy, the co-star of the film. She was in Billy Lynn's Long Half Time Walk. I remember I think I played that trailer with the Ang Lee movie. Good God,
oh,
the good old days.
oh. But I do want to mention the director, Gary Downerman, who has worked on a few different
Yeah,
films
I got
because,
something to say about this motherfucker.
all right, because he worked on Annabelle.
Yes, that's yeah. This well,
Not the
yeah,
good, not the
yeah.
good one out of all of them.
No,
Not the
I
good
know,
one.
I know. It gets
Um,
worse.
he's worked on this other film called Within. I haven't seen Wolves at the Door, which I haven't seen. Annabelle Creation, which is the better Annabelle.
I mean, you
Uh,
comparing Annabelle saying it's good, that's like comparing, it's not good.
the first It film, which he was a writer of, which also, correlates with the Salem's Lot and Stephen King thing universe. The Nun, I mean, that's trashy enough. Annabelle Comes Home. Is that yeah, that's the 2019 one. I was thinking back to the 2016 one. It Chapter 2, he directed Annabelle Comes Home. It Chapter 2, which he worked on the story for and was the writer for. The Nun 2, good God. Um, and now Salem's Lot, and now he's one of the writers for Until Dawn.
That scares the fuck out of me right there. that scares me so much. I'm like, man, this guy sounds familiar. And then when I saw he wrote the Nun movies, I immediately got
And we
just
just talked about Until Dawn very recently on the show. It
because
was
they
like
just
one of the
wrapped
last
up
few episodes,
they wrapped up productions, and that
Yeah.
that scares me. And like, I don't, who is the director for it? It's David F. Sandberg, and
Yep.
I'm scared of that because you have that writing, and you got, well, actually, he wrote Lights Out, but then he did Shazam: Fury of the Gods. But I'll give him Shazam 1 and Lights Out. So there's some hope, but I'm scared about
Yeah, I know. I
yeah.
remember talking about that, but I was not a fan of his direction because he didn't really add any kind of style to it. I don't
Mhm.
think.
Which one?
Like both films that he
Shazam.
directed.
Oh,
Not
Annabelle.
Annabelle Comes Home. We're going back to Gary, not where
Oh, okay, okay,
we talked
yes.
about David a couple weeks ago. So but yeah, I don't think this director has nothing really exciting worthy. Maybe his writing
It
is
has to be the
questionable.
writing. It has to be the writing.
That's not great. I think he can. I need to see more of him, what he does next with directing. He's only done 2 films. I just don't think it's that strong. Looking at his filmography, I think the best one he's done here is the first It film, honestly
And that
speaking.
was more of an Andy Muschietti project
Yeah.
than him. I wouldn't even say that the writing was
He
just
was
like
part
good
of the
direction.
creative team to it
Well,
though.
yeah, it's
So,
true. But you want to explain Annabelle? What the fuck is that? Um,
yeah,
like
that's
I don't get it. Like it did feel like I was watching a Stephen King version of The Nun.
yeah. Um I have not much else to say with Salem's Lot. I think
It
the
wasn't
themes
scary.
didn't it's not that it wasn't scary. I just don't
No,
think the
I'm
themes
saying it wasn't scary.
Oh yeah. I don't think the themes or what it was trying to hit home on didn't really do anything. But this is one of the rare times where both I hate bringing up Rotten Tomatoes, but uh, the audience score and the critic score are about the same rate because currently the Salem's Lot score is sitting at a 45% for critics and for the audience is sitting at a 40. So they're pretty matched up where both audiences like, yeah, we can agree on this universally that this was not entertaining or scary or anything. So
So this begs the question for you. When it comes to Stephen King adaptations, should we just have Mike Flanagan handle it, or is there maybe some stories where it doesn't need to be a film? So there's like Salem's Lot. You think in the right hands it could have been a good film, or it should have just stayed as the
I
miniseries?
I think it could have worked, honestly, with the right team. I was gonna say maybe James Wan should have directed it. Yes, he did produce it, but I think he should have directed it. Maybe I think maybe someone else other than Gary could have adapted this a little bit stronger or bring some kind of exciting elements to it.
Mhm.
Because I do think the cast is solid enough. It's just everything that boggles down to it. I'm even going to point this out too. Even the cinematography wasn't that great, which
No.
is a lot saying. for it to come out of me because I love a really good shot film.
And
But
it's a Warner Brothers movie. Where's this budget going?
this film, do you know what this film probably had because of the tax write-off? This was probably the cheapest one to film,
Yep.
aside from Rat Girl and Coyote versus Acme.
Which was that
That's probably
animated?
why.
Yeah. And
That's probably
this
why.
took place in my hometown or
Yes.
near my hometown, Worcester County. I'm within Worcester County, and it's pretty much near me.
And you are probably very angry how it turned out,
Oh no,
right?
I'm more mad that Hubie Halloween was still filmed here, but that's neither here or there. Yeah, you're probably right. This honestly does seem like this was a just cheaper film to make because I'm looking. We don't even know the budget. What do you if you want to play, conspiracy theory? What do you think the budget for this was?
I'm trying to figure out what the Batgirl budget was. Okay, so Batgirl was 90. I'm doing my research. Hold on.
So Batgirl was 90 and they scrapped this. This had to be lower than that.
It's definitely lower.
Okay.
A Coyote versus Acme was 70. The Salem's Lot at least had to be like, I'm thinking
20 million.
20 to 25 million.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like maybe even less. I will say
10 million.
maybe starting at 10 and maybe no goes up no more than 25. So that's saying something. But what would have been the budget? Oh, I was gonna say for Scoob Halloween Haunt.
That's a good question. I liked the first Scoob movie. It was overhated in my opinion.
We talked about that on the pod. That was like
We
one of the
did.
very
I
first
loved it.
episodes.
We don't know. We never know what
Yeah,
was
it's
gonna
not
be.
even listed on here. So okay. So yeah, definitely lower. And it also is a little bit more expensive to put together an animated film. So they went with the Warner Brothers probably went with the less option. So
Damn you.
yep.
But I
So-
gave it. I'd give this like a C minus.
Maybe I'll even say at least I said I didn't like. No, not like. I said I would give this the same score as Joker 2. The more I think about it, maybe I'll give it even like maybe a C minus or a D plus, but I'm thinking I like the cast enough and they all probably had to do it for a paycheck, like anybody would. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a C minus. Probably too. I was not impressed. I was at least hoping for a solid, which is not even that solid. So
But if you're a Stephen King fan, maybe you'll like it. I don't know. I don't know if Stephen King
I
did he
don't
come
think
out?
you'll like it.
Did he come out and say if he likes this? Because he likes to be like, yeah, I thought this was a great adaptation.
Yeah, he'll do that from time to time. And say, "Oh,
I'm
I
like, how
love
much
this
money- I like-
adoption."
How much money you got? And he just give it to him. It's like, oh yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I will give him credit. He did really like Strange Darling, so yeah. At least he was right about that. So
But yeah, Salem's Lot's available to check out on Max, HBO Max, and I mean it's all right. I mean, I'd probably say go watch something else. Go watch maybe you should go watch the Halloween movies. It'll be funnier. I rewatched all three.
Trap just came out on Max.
Yes,
and I
watch
really
Trap.
like Trap.
Watch that advertisement for M. Night Shyamalan's daughter singing career.
Yes, you saw that, right?
Yes, I did. I love Mr. Gigi. Shout out to him. And he actually makes a good point because I didn't think about it. Then I was like, holy shit, actually he's not wrong. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Let's wrap it up. Kristen, what do we got on tap for the next couple episodes as we're gonna be getting ready for the holiday season?
So coming up, we have some ideas planned up our sleeves. We are going back in time to review the first Gladiator film. Yes, we
Yes.
are. We are going back in time to the year 2000.
Good God.
We are going back 24 years ago to look back on the film that was directed by Ridley Scott. So we are going to do that in honor of Gladiator 2, which we'll also be reviewing. We also are potentially in the discussion to figure out which Netflix holiday film we're going to watch. I don't know which one it's going to be because I got 4 of them, and one of them involves Chad Michael Murray, and the other one involves another Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie. Which one we will review, I don't know. That's for Mac and I to decide. So, plus we got some other stuff fun in the works. Maybe there's time to review Venom.
Knock knock like the devil in.
Maybe there's time for me to see it. I kind of hope I can, but if I can't, I'll just have to wait till streaming.
Knowing
So,
how it's doing at the box office right now, it'll probably be in streaming within the end of next month.
I mean, we're already getting that Joker 2
Well, that's
on
the
digital
well-deserved.
already.
That is well deserved for all that shit because that movie should not even exist. But I think that's gonna wrap up this episode. Make sure you donate to our Patreon below, link in the description. It's only $1 per month and really helps the show out
Who are
and
the
supporting us and
patrons?
everything.
I feel like we need to shout them out.
We still got our same Patreons, Darius, aka Dear Riptide, Audrey Hayes, and Lily Maxima. You three are still legends, and it'll be linked in the description to make sure to donate to our Patreon to get updated on our news alert. And then check out our last episode. It's the replays available on YouTube. We did our first live stream with David and our boy, oh my god, our boys David and I'm James Shaw. We talked about Joker 2. It was a fun time, was around. We had our first little viral moment where David ripped up his poster of
Yes, we
Joker
did.
2, which was funny and pretty much symbolizes how we felt about that movie. It's fun. Make sure you check out the replay. This episode will be uploaded to you by the time Halloween's out, and we hope you have a safe trick or treat. Do not get razor blades in your apples because that's dangerous. I've never happened to me though, so that's good. And
Yikes,
make
what a
sure,
way to end the episode on.
yeah, and don't get your don't get your car egged because that happened to my mom when I went trick or treating and it sucked. But yeah, have a safe, good Halloween. I've been Mac. This has been Kristen. You've been listening to the MK Productions podcast. Peace.
Bye, happy Halloween.